So this is part 2 of the concept level lecture on depreciation. We already covered a 10-minute video, which is the most important one for you to listen to before you listen to this one. So we will continue exactly from the point where we broke off on the last 10-minute lecture. Right. So the example which we gave, we brought the useful life, we've calculated the useful life as 10 years, and we brought down the value from 50,000 to 2,000, which means a reduction of 48,000 over a period of 10 years, which means you could choose to do it as 4,800 rupees per year. The simplest method of depreciation, which is called straight line method. We are not talking about the methods though of depreciation. So this is again a simple example where the values are brought down in this manner, right? So every business can calculate for every asset type that they have got the useful life and the scrap value, and the cost, and in that manner you can calculate how much depreciation needs to be done in that duration of time, right? So it is another. Now let's understand depreciation from another point of view, right? You purchased a machine which is for the purpose of doing business. That machine is going to help you earn income, right? If you do not have that machine, it will not be available to manufacture a product, or it will not be available for transporting the product, or it will not be available for the staff to use in the office like a computer. The computer is not directly used to manufacture products, but it is used to create a certain kind of an efficiency. It is all used for the purpose of running the business, right? So all the costs associated to running the business need to be included in the profit and loss account, and it needs to be charged as an expense, and that is how you can truly calculate the profit. For the profit to be an accurate reflection of the progress of the business, if you are classifying a real account in the balance sheet and no part of that comes in the profit and loss account, it would essentially mean that your profits are overstated, and that is why you need to charge depreciation. You are taking out a small amount of the asset from the balance sheet and you are transferring it into the profit and loss account as an expense, right? That is what you are doing, and you're doing that over a period of time. So whatever amount of money is spent, I'm using the word amount of money is spent for purchasing certain assets, eventually needs to be charged to the profit and loss account as an expense, and we use the word depreciation for defining that amount, and that expense has to be subtracted from the income to come to arrive at the actual accurate profits, right? So that's the concept, right? As I said, this lecture is concept level. We're not working with numbers, we're not working with methods of depreciation. Understand the concept, the need for depreciation, right? Now the other dimension which is often asked in exams is about so if you don't use an asset at all, will there be depreciation? Well, look at it this way. You purchase a laptop and you don't use it at all. So what's going to happen? Will it function very well at the end of 1 year, 2 years, 3 years? Maybe, maybe not, right? So there's a time decay of an asset. So if you just by the passage of time, the value of the asset goes down, it loses its value. So there's a need for depreciation. That's one of the needs for depreciation. When you actually use an asset, if you purchased a car and you actually use it, a car is a better example than a laptop to understand depreciation. So if you purchase a car and you use it, the more number of kilometers or miles you run on your vehicle, there is a wear and tear, and that wear and tear is depreciation, right? You don't use your vehicle at all, and it's lying idle, and while it's lying idle, it's getting spoiled a little bit every day, every moment, right? So that's the time decay on an asset, right? Let's say that there's a new type of vehicle that comes in the market. So you have EVs, electrical vehicles, right? So let's say the market gets flooded with electrical vehicles, and yours is a traditional fuel, petrol or diesel or whatever gas is used in your country. So your vehicle may lose value all of a sudden because this technology of your asset is no longer very prevalent. So that's again, so these are typical examples from academic books on terms of justification of depreciation. I like to give the justification that to calculate the true profit of a business, you need to be able to charge all expenses, and the money spent on purchasing a real asset is truly an expense, but not in that one particular year in which you spend that money, right? It is the money that you have spent over a period of time, and that is the period during which you need to charge the depreciation to the P&L account. Okay, so now for the most parts, there are accounting standards, and accounting standards will define the method of depreciation. Then there are regulatory policies in every country. Most often the taxation laws will define what is the maximum amount of depreciation you are allowed, and there are other statutory laws like the Companies Act, which will again define what is the maximum amount of depreciation on most of the asset categories. Because if you don't define standards for everybody to follow, then it becomes easy for people to do what they please, and there isn't enough standardization across the industry, across different companies. So there's a regulation, there's laws which will come in and define how much is the maximum depreciation that can be charged. So that's important to know. The last important thing, there is a concept called impairment. Impairment is a one-time diminution in the value of your asset, right? So what are the examples? So if you have a accident of your car, so that's an impairment. It's a one time diminution in the value. You don't expect that to happen on the day you purchased it. You don't expect that to happen again after when it happened. Let's say there is a natural calamity, there is a flood, or there is a fire, and in that your asset gets damaged. So these are impairments. These are not depreciation, right? In more advanced accounting classes, you will learn that this is impairment of assets, which is covered through a different method. But it is a reduction in the value of an asset nonetheless, but not through depreciation, through impairment. So impairment is a one-time unexpected diminution in the value. Depreciation, on the other hand, from the day you purchased it, upfront, right at the beginning, that this value will deplete in a slow, gradual manner. So depreciation is a little different, impairment is a little different. Have a concept level understanding on these two. So we're kind of done with depreciation at a concept level, right? After this, there will be primarily two methods of depreciation, which is by and large maths, right? There's nothing accounting to know about those two methods of depreciation. Once you understand these concepts, after that you only need to know math. Those two methods are very, very simple. Just be able to do the calculation. That's all that remains, right? So yeah, just a quick refresher, right? Depreciation is the loss, is the diminution in the value of a real asset, which is typically part of the balance sheet, and you will calculate, you will estimate the useful life, you will estimate the residue value or the scrap value at the end of the useful life, and the purchase cost. In that duration of time, you need to reduce your purchase price in the balance sheet from the full value down to the scrap value. So which essentially means that you are charging that much amount of the asset to the profit and loss account over the useful life, and you're doing that so that the profits are a genuine, true reflection of the business of that particular entity. So that's depreciation for you. We've done 2 lectures, part 1, part 2. This is part 2 of the 2 lecture series on understanding depreciation. It's an important concept in accounting, depreciation, and no need to worry about the word depreciation. Like I said, it's the opposite of appreciation, and technical word, but very, very, very simple to understand. So thank you for attending this. This is Vishwas. If you like my lectures, do give me a like on your YouTube, and you could subscribe if you are looking forward to getting more knowledge. Thank you.